Hi, everyone. I am so happy to be joining you today and so excited to be part of the Girls on the Run event. Girls on the Run is an incredible organization because it leads with mentorship and community to help people up a level who they are and so they can reach their potential and get more of the life that they really desire and deserve. Which leads me to today's presentation, which is about the MORE method, teaching people how to get more of everything they desire in life. And the MORE method is a culmination of my teaching 20 plus years of human potential, bringing together multiple disciplines from psychology, emotional intelligence, nutrition, physiology, quantum physics, metaphysics, neuroscience, and more. My quest has always been to figure out how we can get more of the life we desire, living more intentionally, living a more fulfilled life, living a happier life. And I want to share all that information with you today so that you can get more of everything you desire in life. But we must first ask the question, what is it that you want more of? A lot of times we don't ever explore this. So we have these desires, but we're not clear with them. We're not intentional about them. And so we're working towards goals, which a lot of us set regularly. But our goals often do not align with what it is that we really want more of. And what we want more of are our true desires, not just our goals that we're setting from a theoretic standpoint with our ego and our mind leading the way. But when we just get clear as to what we want more of, we're leading more from a heart-centered place. So I ask the question to you, what is it that you want more of? More time, energy, financial freedom, thriving health? Maybe it's a more fulfilling career, or maybe it's to do more things that you're passionate about with hobbies. Or maybe it's more love in your life and more deeply connected relationships. Whatever it is for you, it is all possible once we understand how to get more of everything we desire in life. But first, I'm going to ask you, if when you make your list of what you want more of, does it align with your goals? Because sometimes when we're trying to work towards two different things at the same time that aren't in alignment, we're constantly working against ourselves. And what we want more of is more true to who we are and what our potential is capable of. So take a few seconds to write down what it is for you that you want more of. Writing down things is incredibly important for the brain to process them more effectively, just to think about them and leave it up in the air, or even more effective than typing it on your phone. So just for one few seconds, write down what it is that you would like more of. Think broadly. Think in ways that aren't so much goal-oriented, but truth-oriented. Why do you do what you do? What matters to you? What really connects with you? Now, the reason more people don't get more of what they desire in life is because, number one, they lack clarity, which is why we just did that exercise. Because the more clear we are about what we want more of, the more intentional we are about being able to achieve it. The next reason people don't get more of what it is that they desire in life is because they've worked towards goals and they haven't met those goals. And so they feel disappointed in themselves. They're afraid to let themselves down. And so they minimize what it is that they desire for fear of being disappointed again. And so in minimizing their desires, they minimize their potential. And the third group is the group that consistently works towards goals and often will fall short of the goals. It's not because of lack of effort, but it's simply because they don't know what they don't know. There's things about achievement, there's things about maximizing our potential that if we don't know and understand, just working hard isn't going to get us to where we want to go. Often we're working against ourselves and we don't even realize it. And that's so much of what I'm going to share with you today. But before I go further, I want to give you a little backstory about why this information is so important to me and why I'm so passionate about human potential. I grew up right outside of Philadelphia, and my dad grew up in Chester, PA, in a very poor home where there was very little love and compassion, very emotionally unavailable family. Because they were poor, he started working at a very young age, was exposed to a lot of older men that he worked with, and started drinking at 13 years of age. My mom was from Brooklyn, New York. She was this sassy, mouthy, strong, very strong woman. And when she met my dad, she had come to Philadelphia for a photo shoot. She was one of the first models for 17 magazine, and she had kinky curly hair, and they just started with hair straightening. And as she used this hair straightener, her hair all fell out. It wasn't a perfected thing the way it is today. So she met my dad bald because my dad was her attorney representing her case. They quickly fell in love, had a whirlwind romance, and got married pretty quickly. And my dad, at the point when my mom met him, was this fun guy and always on the move, doing cool things. And then quickly after she got married, she realized that she was in a marriage with a highly functioning alcoholic, an abusive alcoholic. And so much of my childhood was brought into this very stressful sense of trauma and abuse. And it was traumatizing. And it wasn't until I got to college that I realized and understood why all of these things had happened in my childhood. When I studied psychology, it was amazing to me. It was the first time I actually really connected to school and curriculum, because it was information that was really making my life make sense. It's the study of human behavior. It's something that I think all of us should invest in learning more about, because when we understand ourselves, we can understand life. When we master our mindset, we can master our lives. And so when I was learning psychology, I thought, wow, everyone needs to be here. This is amazing information. If anyone wants to be a leader or a teacher or coach or parent, everyone should be learning this, because it's the understanding of how our mind works and why we do what we do. And I knew that this information was going to be transformational, not just for me, but for every person I met from that moment forward. I graduated with my degree in education and psychology, and I'm a natural teacher. I love sharing information. When I learn something that I know will benefit people's lives, I want to share it with the world. And so what I did is I began this journey of really uncovering and understanding why people do what they do. And I found some of the greatest mentors to teach me about mindset training at a really high level. And every step of the way, I knew that all this information not only was going to break the cycles of my childhood and my past, but would help break the cycles of other people's lives and their past. Because if we don't understand, if we're not aware of why we do what we do, we're just going to keep repeating the patterns and cycles, which is why I said earlier, so many people set goals, they work towards those goals, but they're not getting there because they're repeating subconscious cycles and patterns that they don't even realize. And so they're self-sabotaging without the awareness that they're intentionally or unintentionally self-sabotaging. And so that's a lot of what I want to share with you today, is how to get more of what it is that you desire. Understand the psychology of why you do what you do, and taking that understanding into practice, which is the mindset training, and understanding how to intentionally live while mastering your thought process, mastering how you view the world through your perspective, and how your beliefs affect your behaviors. So in order to get more of everything we desire in life, as I learned through all this training with my mentors and putting it all into practice day after day through my businesses and watching my career take off in ways that I never even thought was possible. It was not possible in the perspective of how I grew up and the community that I grew up in. I was breaking rules and barriers and limitations that had been projected upon me by my upbringing as well as the society around me. And as I learned this, as I mentioned, I love sharing information. I kept sharing it with other people so that they too could learn more. So first, we must envision whatever it is that we want for our lives. We must envision what it is that we want. That's why I asked you earlier, what do you want more of? You have to know what it is that you want and then envision it. Not just envision it once or twice, but make it a daily exercise to visualize what it is that you desire in life. Not just think about it, but emotionally connect to it. Emotion is energy in motion. It puts so much power and more energy behind just a thought, but to feel. All of the great leaders, great thought leaders before us have taught this theory over and over again. It's one of Walt Disney's most famous sayings. Whatever it is that you want, you must first believe that you can achieve, right? So we have to envision whatever it is that we desire in life and think about it. Play it like it's a story in your mind, intentionally every day. And then next, we must believe that we are worthy and capable of having what it is that we desire. Now, ladies have more trouble with this than men do, and this is fact. It is not a biased opinion. This is understanding that belief systems that we have programmed with from generations before us still control how we believe or what we believe we are worthy or capable of having. And until we change those beliefs, we will not be able to change our outcomes. I learned back in 2005 when I was launching my Butler bag company that women were controlling or creating less than 1% of the wealth in the United States of America. It's baffling to me. How is that possible? Women were graduating equally from men from universities. They were starting 2-to-1 businesses to men back then, yet creating less than 1% of the wealth. Now, this is not job cap. This is purely wealth creation. Women creating businesses and creating the economy around those businesses. 10 years later, women were creating less than 3% of the wealth in the United States of America. How is that possible? When women at that point were graduating 2-to-1 from men from universities and starting 3.5-to-1 businesses to men. I had to figure this out because it didn't make sense. It wasn't lack of education that we were missing, right? We all have access to the biggest university on earth called Google. So what was it that was keeping women from a greater expansion of wealth creation? And what I realized is all of the beliefs that they were programmed with from generations before, such as, if I'm too successful, I'm not a good parent. If I'm too successful, I'm not a good spouse. If I'm too successful, this is a big one, too many people are going to want too much from me. And then you feel more responsible. So you self-sabotage. Or if I'm too successful, my friends aren't going to like me as much. That can be true. I've experienced it. But are they really your friends anyway? Do you want to hang out with people that want to hold you down? Or do you want to be with people that lift you up? That's a really important thing to understand. When we believe that we are worthy and capable of having what it is that we desire, we can move mountains. We become so much more powerful, and we can use that power for good, for impact. And a lot of times that's something that women need to drive forward, to not just be trying to accomplish something for ourselves, but to accomplish it for others as well, to make an impact in the world that's bigger than ourselves. And if that's what it is for you, go back to what it is that you want more of. What is that purpose for you? When I launched my Butler bag company back in 2006, this became a critical mission to me, to not just launch the company and be successful for myself, but to break those beliefs and barriers for other women so that I could be a model as part of the solution to this problem that women were limiting themselves to what was possible in wealth creation. And in doing so, I was able to be more forceful and more dedicated to the mission just for self-serving of myself. Going through life thinking, why not me? Instead of why me? Is a very important part of this process to change your belief that you're worthy and capable of having something. The next is removing the beliefs and behaviors that block you from getting whatever it is that you desire. Beliefs are so powerful. Beliefs hold us stuck in a place without even realizing it, unless we explore those beliefs. Most of the beliefs that we hold in our subconscious mind, which run most of our lives, were programmed before you were 7 years of age. Crazy, right? So in order to start to discover the beliefs that we hold that might be holding us back, we must begin with who your programmers were at that time. Parents, grandparents, school teachers, community, what you were watching on television. Those are all factors to give you clues as to what your beliefs might be driving who you are and how you're viewing the world without even realizing it. A lot of your goals that you have might be big and audacious, but you might have limited beliefs around money and success, programmed when you were a child that no, that success is for the other people, or money is too hard to come by. So you must begin to explore the beliefs that you have in order to uncover what it is that's holding you back. Another way to figure this out is looking at all the outcomes that you have in your life right now that you don't like. What outcomes do you have that you do not like? Whatever the outcomes are, there are 1,000,000% beliefs attached to that need to be changed in order for you to change. So this is an incredibly important part of the process, and one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason, of why people don't get more of what they desire in life. Because they have all these subconscious beliefs that they're fully unaware of, blinded by, not exploring, that need to be changed. So I'm going to tell you how to change them once you discover them. This is a process of human behavior and reprogramming of the brain. Identifying a belief that you have that holds you back around money, around relationships, around health and well-being, around success. When you explore those different areas of your life and you identify the beliefs that are holding you back, you must flip the belief in order to change the belief. So for example, as I was younger in my career, I was doing a lot of cool things, but I knew that I wasn't living to my potential. I knew there was something holding me back. And I had just been learning this information, so I started really exploring what is it within me, what beliefs are within me that are holding me back. Why are other people doing these cool things that I want to do and I'm not doing them? And I recognized one of my beliefs was my fear of failure, because the belief was that if I failed, I was a failure. My dad was a Marine, so a mantra throughout our house growing up was, failure is not an option. I get it on a battlefield. But if you teach a child with good self-preservation skills that failure is not an option, the child learns to do only what they're good at, what they're comfortable doing, what's safe for them. None of us can maximize our potential if that's what we seek to do in life. Only what we're good at, only what's comfortable. Growth comes in those uncomfortable moments and learning new things. And so when I identified that this was my belief, this huge belief, this fear of failure was controlling my life, I needed to flip the belief. And so I flipped the belief to, I have more fear of regret than I have of failure. I have more fear of regret than I have of failure. And not only did I flip that belief, I followed it up with another emotionally changing identification, which is failure is only part of the process on the journey to success. We can't succeed if we're not failing. It's only part of the process. The people that succeed at high levels failed. They just looked at the failure as a learning opportunity, changed their strategy from there, and kept moving forward. And so when we identify that we have a belief that's holding us back, we flip the belief, and then every day from that moment forward, you reprogram your brain by creating new neural pathways in your brain, strengthening the new neural pathways by repetition of that belief. So for me, I would say all day, every day in the beginning, I have more fear of regret than I have of failure. Failure is just part of the process on the journey to success. That's just one of the affirmations that I use to reprogram my brain to change my life. You can do it too. We all can reprogram our brains any moment we decide. It takes identifying what the beliefs are, flipping the beliefs, and then reprogramming consistently until we've strengthened the new neural pathway by also weakening the old neural pathway, the old belief, the old messenger system in our brain. And then eventually it just becomes who we are. I don't have to think about that anymore. I just live it. I see something that's scary and new, and I get excited. I'm uncomfortable when I'm comfortable at this moment. And if I look at something that's scary, it's exciting to me because I know in that will be growth. So identifying those beliefs that hold you back then will change the behaviors, and I'll go into this more in just a moment. When we change our beliefs, we can change our behaviors, we can change our outcomes. The last part of that process is intentionally create your life. Every single day, be more intentional about why you're doing what you're doing, what you're trying to gain from an experience, letting other people know what your intentions are about an experience. So many times we set meetings and we have no idea what these meetings are for. We get in the meetings, everyone's just talking for 30, 60 minutes and nothing's accomplished because we weren't intentional about why we're doing what we're doing. And this part of intentionality is huge for people that are high-level achievers because they get so busy in doing that they forget to just take pauses throughout the day and figure out what they're doing with purpose. Setting those clear intentions, starting their day off with their to-do list and running through their day mentally before the day even happens sets us up for a lot greater success. The key is when we master ourselves, we will master our lives. And so that's why understanding those fundamental aspects that I just showed you, envision what it is that you want for your life, believe you're worthy and capable of having what it is that you desire, removing the beliefs and behaviors that block you, and then becoming intentional helps your life mastery. Even when things are out of your control, like so much is today, we can control a lot more by our perspective and how we choose to create the habits of our day. And that is really powerful. And so in the MORE method, the word MORE is an acronym. And that acronym is broken down right here. And so it's a framework for anyone at any stage of life to get more of what it is they desire. This is a duplicated methodology. No matter what stage of life you are, you can duplicate this methodology to get you from where you are to where you want to go. So I'm going to break it down for you so that you can apply it to your life immediately after today. So in order to get more of everything we desire in life, we must first become more mindful. Mindful of the thoughts that we think. Are you thinking high quality thoughts? Are you thinking low quality thoughts? Are you thinking positive or negative? Are you being mindful of letting fear overtake your life? Or are you just observing things, processing them, and using the information to move forward? What is the quality of your thoughts? These are all things that we can audit every day of our lives. I'm going to go through the list of the aspects of life to be more mindful so that you can audit them every day to really course correct when you're getting off course. The next thing is being mindful of the words that you're choosing. Are you choosing high quality words that are empowering, that are confident, or are they low quality words that keep you uncommitted, that keep you unsure? For example, I love when people will say, I'll try to make your event. I'll try to make your party. I just cross them off the list. I know they're not coming. Why? Because their words said it to me. I will try means I'm not committed, but I'm telling you what you want to hear because I don't want to let you down. I know many of you are laughing right now. We've done it and we've had it done to us. But words tell us so much about what's going on in our psyche and the psyche of others. The next is the people you're surrounding yourself with. Are you surrounding yourself with people that add value to your life or take away value from your life? People that lift you up or drag you down? People that are encouraging your growth or discouraging your growth. Audit that on a regular basis. I have a saying, detox the drainers and increase the enhancers. Increase people that enhance your life, and distance yourself from the ones that don't. The next is, what are you doing in your free time? Are you doing things that are helping you get closer to your goals, the things that you desire, or keeping you stagnant and stuck and keeping you away from that? What are you watching on TV? Is it information that's lifting you up? Is it information that's teaching you? Or is it information that's actually destroying your perspective of the world, that's bringing stress into your life, that's disrupting your sleep at night? All of those things matter to the quality of our lives. What we're listening to on the radio, what we're reading on a regular basis, what content is coming through our feed on social media. Who you're surrounding yourself with is also the people in your social media feed. They're affecting how you feel. They're affecting how you view the world. The next thing is how you're treating your body. Are you eating foods that hurt you or help you? Are you eating nutritious things that give you brain power? Are you sleeping properly? And I'm going to break this down in just a moment after I go through one more step of this. But how we are fueling our bodies, how we're treating our bodies is going to affect everything else. So we must be mindful of those aspects of our lives on a daily basis so that we can work smarter than harder, so that we can get closer to our goals in things that we can control. And mindfulness of our beliefs. We just talked about beliefs, but I'm going to go deeper just one moment. The beliefs that we have change more quickly when we can add a new greater value to that belief. So I taught you already, identify the belief that you have that keeps you stuck. Flip the belief. And as you flip that belief, if you could create a new greater value to that belief, you will change the behaviors that follow that belief more quickly to change your outcomes. I'll give you an example. January 1st, gyms are usually packed. Everyone's New Year resolution year after year. By about January 21st, a lot of those people have weeded out of the gym. Why? Because year after year, they set these goals. But the goals are not in alignment with their beliefs. So what they're using is what's called willpower to try to change the behaviors to change the outcomes. But if I have a belief that exercise is torturous, it's horrible, it hurts, it's painful, it's just the worst thing in the world, and I try to go to the gym intentionally every day, but I'm thinking to myself, this stinks, this is torturous, I don't enjoy this, eventually my motivation and my willpower will exhaust itself, and I will default back to my normal patterning. But if I change my belief, I love exercise. I love how it makes me feel. I love that it gives me extra energy. I love that it gives me extra energy and mental clarity, which makes me more productive, and I love being productive. Now I've added a new greater value. It's not just about the vanity of working out. It's not even just about the health of working out. Both are important, but what I really value personally is being productive. So if I can align this new belief, and that belief creates behaviors that give me a greater outcome with greater value, which is being productive, then I'm going to hold on to that outcome as my motivation more, as I personally am transforming who I am. And so when I'm dreading going to the gym in the morning, but I think, okay, if I just get to the gym, I'm going to be more productive all day. That is of high value to me. That is the motivation through the transformational change of my behavior. I hope that makes sense for everyone. That is a big one. For those of you who are leaders, leading teams, leading children, that's a big thing to know, is understand what people value, so that when you're trying to motivate change, you're helping them understand the beliefs that they have and motivating with them that with a value that matters to them. The next is optimization of body and brain. There's a lot of things out of our control, But the most important thing on a daily basis in our control is how we treat our bodies. A lot of times when I say, what do people want more of? They say time. We actually can get more time. This is a time hacking strategy right here. This is an energy management hacking strategy right here. The more that we optimize our bodies and brains, the more we are capable of doing more with less energy and effort. We can produce more with less energy and effort. I'm all about working smarter than harder. I don't know about you. But I would like to work smarter and accomplish more in a short period of time than I want to elongate something out for 8 hours that should only take 2 or maybe 3 hours. And this is how we do it, by optimizing our bodies and brains. Most people go through life chronically exhausted, not fueling their bodies and brains, and taking so much longer and so much effort to do things because their body is sluggish, because their brain is not optimized. So how does this look for us? Optimizing our bodies and brains. Here's another auditing checklist for you. Sleep. Are you getting consistent, high quality sleep? Are you getting restful sleep? How many hours are you sleeping? A lot of times we don't prioritize sleep and we become so chronically sleep deprived that our bodies are working so hard just to function on a daily basis. This also affects our emotional state because we get tired, we get cranky, right? We become impatient. So we're not our best selves. The MORE method is all about being your best version self. We're not our best version self when we're tired, right? So evaluating every day, am I prioritizing high quality sleep and how am I doing it? In my trainings, I go into a lot more depth of all these different aspects. But for now, I want you to just really explore how could you get more high quality sleep. Usually it starts with setting a sleep schedule, just like children. When we're trying to get children to sleep through the night, we put them on a sleep schedule. Adults are no different. The next is, how are we eating? I mentioned this earlier. How we eat affects how we feel. Bottom line. Is what you're eating hurting you or helping you? Is the amount of what you're eating hurting you or helping you? We could eat really healthy food, but if we're eating too much of it, all of our energy goes from our brain to our gut just to digest. And now we're working harder than smarter. Eating high quality proteins and fats is really important to optimize our bodies and brains. The biggest sabotager of how to optimize your body and brain is eating sugar. I know I lose a lot of friends when I say this, but sugar is your enemy if you want to manage your energy and your mental clarity. So I'm not saying you can never have it again, but ask the question as you're going through life, is this worth losing my energy over? And listen, you don't need a whole Hershey bar for it to matter. A single Hershey kiss changes your mental clarity because it's not about how much you're eating and the calories, which is more on the nutrition side and that goes into weight loss. This is not this conversation. But the second something hits your tongue, every time food or drink hits your tongue, it causes a chemical reaction that changes your brain, hurting you or helping you. So is what you're putting on your tongue hurting you or helping you? Is the chemical reaction that you create hurting you or helping you? When sugar hits your tongue, your insulin spikes and it literally creates like a numbing sensation of your brain and then your energy drops back down again. Simplified version. And it makes it harder to focus and have energy and stamina and mental clarity and mood stabilization after you do it. You literally sabotage your day. If you're in the middle of a work day by sugar, or it could even be from high carbs like pasta or rice or breads. Those also steal your energy. So again, not that you can never have it, but think about, do I have time to lose energy right now? Do I have time to give up mental clarity right now? The answer is usually no during the middle of a work day. I like to think of myself as an athlete in business during the work day. Another aspect is hydration. Are you staying hydrated? Our bodies are made up of about 80% of water. If we're dehydrated, our body's working harder just to survive and sustain itself, to just be productive the way it has to be productive in order to keep us alive. Most people in our society are chronically dehydrated. You can simply Google your body weight, height, and how much water you should be drinking each day. Water. It does not include your coffee. It does not include soda, juices, any of that. how much water you should be drinking every day. Are you supplementing? Our diets, most Americans, I'd say every American diet, even the healthiest of eaters, aren't getting enough nutrients because even the farming has changed so much. So are you nutrient deficient? And how is that changing your performance? There is a great TED Talk called Food as Your Pharmacy, which I highly recommend everyone looking into because it begins to talk about nutrient deficiencies and how it affects how you feel. Exercise. Are you working out every day? Working out gets more oxygen into our bodies and brains. Oxygen helps our brains function. It raises endorphins, gives us more energy, works our muscles. Daily exercise is critically important. Even if you're not taking an hour at a time and you work out in spurts throughout the day. So many people are working from home right now. In between each meeting, go do some push-ups, some walking lunges, run up and down the stairs, using those spurts throughout the day if you don't have a time to block out an hour. Or when it's nice out, try to make sure that you're getting outside for your workouts for more fresh air. Also helping your brain. Also think about how you're detoxing your body. So it's one thing to put good things in it, but you're also going to be sluggish if there's toxins in your body. So one of the easiest ways to help pull toxins out faster is putting lemon into your water. It also balances the pH of your body into an alkaline state versus an acidic state. I know, counterintuitive, but it does what it does. It tricks your body into an alkaline state while also pulling more toxins out of your body. I personally also use some supplements, fulvic acid, which really helps pull a lot of the toxins out of your body. And I get regular massages, which also cleans out your lymphatic system. I'll do Epsom salt baths, which pull the toxins out of your body, and reflexology on a regular basis. Those are my, what I call detox reset strategies. R is living a responsive versus reactive life. This is the emotional intelligence component. Are you responding to life or are you reacting to life? If you are reacting to life, you are not getting more of everything you desire in life. Being responsive is being centered, grounded, capable of taking pauses, reflecting, and re-engaging as a better version of yourself. I learned this concept in a really profound way watching this movie many years ago, probably about 15 years ago, called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. And in The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, it's like Karate Kid. There's a mentor and there's a student. And the student is a young man. And the young man wants to learn how he wants to learn and how he believes is the right way to learn, which is funny because he's the student. And the master's teaching his way. So the student has this temper tantrum, freaks out, screaming, and the master stays calm and centered and responds to the young student and says, "Fools react, warriors respond." When I heard that, I was like, whoa, that is amazing. So much of my childhood was such reactive behavior. Everyone would react to things, scream to things, scream at things and throw things. And it seemed so much better, classier, more effective as the warrior just responded. And I thought, that's how I want to really live my life from this day forward. Because if I grew up in a reactionary home, I was programmed to be reactionary. So I had to really work on my emotional intelligence, mastering my mind and how I viewed things in order to respond. So this is a big part of the training, but I'm going to break it down very quickly for a limit of time. But when you respond, there's a formula you can use. When something happens and you're triggered and you want to just react, pause. Take a deep breath, then reflect and ask yourself a few questions. Is this real? Or am I making this something that it isn't? Am I giving this meaning that isn't real meaning? Because what we give meaning to things, we think it's the truth, but nothing has meaning until you give it meaning. So if nothing has meaning until you give it meaning, you can change the meaning. Even if whatever's happening is real, you can change the meaning to maintain your control. You can trick your mind, literally trick your mind to maintain control. And then After you pause, reflect, you reframe something. So that's taking something as your interpretation and giving it a new meaning, trying to see from other person's perspective, and then you calmly re-engage with the desire to be the best version of yourself, seeking to understand, not be right. It's a big one. Emotionally intelligent people, people that respond to life, they seek to understand, not to be right. Reactive people seek to be right at all costs. We don't get more out of life when we're roaming through life seeking to be right. Our relationships quickly get destroyed when we're always seeking to be right. The mastery in all relationships is when we stop seeking to be right, but seek to understand. Lastly is the E, which is excelling in all aspects of life. I have identified that there's 4 core quadrants of our lives that if we nurture every day, we create what's called holistic success, which is a bit different than the traditional sense of success. Holistic success is a success that fuels us holistically, which makes us feel more fulfilled in all aspects of our lives. So here's the breakdown of the 4 quadrants. Our professional achievement quadrant, this is success and money. Our health and well-being. Are we thriving or are we just surviving? Our relationships and the health of our relationships. Prioritizing the health of our relationships. Getting rid of relationships that cause drama and chaos in our lives. Nurturing the relationships that matter. And the last one is our personal evolution. This is your personal growth. This is your ability to continuously evolve and transform every day. And if you have to focus on one quadrant more than any quadrant, this is the quadrant. Because as we become more, we achieve more and receive more. That's the whole theme of the MORE method. Be more to achieve more and receive more. And so personal evolution is reading books and learning new philosophies and new perspectives, watching videos that inspire us and motivate us. All of those things, meditation, yoga, that allow us to personally evolve. I always say, I don't want to know who I am a year from now because I want to have grown so much I don't even recognize myself. To me, that's the ultimate goal, and growth equals happiness. And a lot of people never realize that. Growth equals happiness. Complacency is the thief of passion. And so when we focus on all these different aspects of our lives every day, being mindful, optimizing our bodies and brains, learning to be responsive versus reactive, and nurturing all 4 quadrants of our lives, we will for sure get more of everything that we desire in life. I want to thank you so much for sharing this time with me today. And I hope that it really impacted your life. I hope that it helped you see a way of life that's more intentional and more capable of maximizing your potential to be the best version of yourself every day from this day forward. I want to thank Girls on the Run for having me, and I hope that you will all connect with me on social media if you want to learn more about this information so you continue your growth in getting more of everything that you desire in life. Thank you so much.